Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle, and in today's video, we're going over the best draft values at the running back position. I just covered the quarterback, so be sure to check that video out. It's another quick one. We're trying to keep these under 5 minutes or so. So we're going to go over the running backs here. I did make a list of 5 guys, and again, this article is free on thefantasyfellowship.com, link in the description below. But for now, we're just going to read my top 5 running backs here that I think are the best value. And I have Ezekiel Elliott as my first running back value here, and he's a first-round pick. So why do I consider him a value? Well, it's because of what he did last year in those first 5 games with Dak Prescott. He averaged 22.74 PPR points per game in that stretch, which would have been the 3rd best for running backs last season. I think he was RB1 after Dak went down, and then, of course, we all know what happened with Andy Dalton. The offense just tanked. So the fact that you can get him, I think right now he's like the 7th. Here's Fantasy Pros PPR RB value. He's like the 6th or 7th player off the board. If I'm sitting at that 6, 7, 8 spot, he's a tremendous value. You're getting a guy that could potentially finish as a top 2, top 3 running back. We love the Dallas offense. I think if you're in the middle of the first round, Ezekiel Elliott's a really nice value. He's a lock. To me, he's almost a lock for a top 5 finish, assuming he plays healthy the full season. My next best value here is Antonio Gibson. Now, he's going in the 2nd round, and then I say here that he could be like stealing candy from a baby. If you look at what he did last year, he was the RB14 in PPR leagues, and he only played in 14 games. And at the moment right now, he is currently being drafted in PPR. He's about the 13th running back off the board. And again, this to me just feels like stealing candy from a baby. You're getting a guy that is likely to finish as a top 12 running back. You get Ryan Fitzpatrick added there. That's a massive upgrade over Alex Smith. That offense is going to be much better at scoring the ball, moving the ball down the field. There's rumblings that Gibson's going to be getting more work in the passing game. With a guy that Gibson, he was a wide receiver at Memphis. He's still learning the positions. It sounded like at OTAs, things were really slowing down for him, and he was beginning to take that next step. So Gibson, there's this unknown ceiling with him in the 2nd round that I find really attractive. He looks fantastic as your running back too. Again, I don't think it's crazy to see him finish as a top 5 running back, so he's well worth the risk in the round 2. And then I got J.K. Dobbins here in the 3rd round. From weeks 11 through 17, he averaged 16.28 PPR points per game. So he's currently going in the 3rd round of drafts. Let me see his ADP. He's currently the 17th running back off the board. And again, if we just look at, he averaged, a little over 16 fantasy points per game. If you take that sample here, there's only a handful of running backs that averaged more than 16 points per game last season. Let me filter here by PPR and hit the fantasy points per game. There was only, let's see, 12 to 13 running backs that averaged more than 16 fantasy points per game. So J.K. Dobbins, you can get him as like the 19th, 20th running back off the board. He's got a potential to finish as a top 12 running back. Again, he looks best as your running back too. But the signs are there that they're going to try to get him the ball more in the passing game. He's going to be their leading rusher, assuming he plays the full season. So J.K. Dobbins, he looks great as your running back too. If you really want to do something crazy, you could start off a draft with 3 straight running backs and put Dobbins as your 3, put him in your flex. And again, he's going in the 3rd round around a bunch of receivers who are going to average, that 16 to 17 points. So I kind of like the value there. And then our final 2 running backs in this video are going to be Mike Davis and James Conner. So with Mike Davis, he was a league winner last year. If you guys picked him up for Christian McCaffrey, you know what he did for you down the stretch. I think week 16, he scored 2 touchdowns. He had a really nice week, and he won a lot of people championships. And now that he's in Atlanta has the new coach, Arthur Smith, who comes from Tennessee. We know how Tennessee's offense has been running the last few seasons. So there's going to be a little bit more focus on the run. Atlanta likes to run the ball in the red zone. They like to throw to their backs. So I think getting a guy like Mike Davis, and again, his ADP is kind of all over the place. Fantasy Pros here has him as the RB23 or RB24 right now. I think he's a top 25 running back. I think he's a lock for a running back 2 season as long as he's healthy, playing well. That offense is going to move the ball pretty nicely, and he doesn't have a lot of competition behind him for touches. So Mike Davis, he's a pretty good option in the 5th or 6th round of drafts. And then James Conner, my favorite running back with the best value, I believe, right now. You can draft him in the 8th or 9th round. His current average draft position, he's going down here, guys, is RB37 off the board. And I just think if you look at what Kenyon Drake did last year in this role with the Cardinals offense, he had 239 carries and 25 catches. We're going to give James Conner almost all of those, if not more, maybe a little bit less, but in that range. And Kenyon Drake was like RB15 last year. So I just don't get the huge discrepancy. And the big thing for me is the 21 carries inside the 5-yard line for Kenyon Drake, where he scored 9 touchdowns. James Conner's going to get all that goal line work. We know Chase Edmonds is not a goal line back. Edmonds doesn't get a lot of touches in the red zone. He's purely a passing third down back. So James Conner is going to step into a really nice big workload, and it has me very excited. He's being drafted outside the top 30, and I have him currently right now. He is my RB25 on the season. He's one of the best values in your draft. Fun, exciting offense. He's one of the easiest pieces to get for the Cardinals. So those are my top 5 running backs. For value-wise, there's a handful more that I could have listed, but these are just the top 5 that I really enjoy drafting right now. So that's going to do it for this video. We'll make sure to check out the quarterbacks. I'm going to cover the wide receivers next. So we'll see you guys in another video. Thanks. Peace.